Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Talented Universe. I'd like to welcome everybody out in cyberspace and on this, I can't believe it is March 17th, 2025. And I will have to confess on Eric's stuff, I put 2024 and I had to fix it when I noticed it the other day. But it is 2025. We did not have Eric on a year ago. Yeah, so if anybody got all mixed up, I am so sorry. But I'd just like to say welcome to my co-host, Liz. First, Liz, how are you doing this fabulous Monday with crazy California weather?
I'm doing great. You know, it's a little bit rainy, a little bit foggy, but hey, it's California. What do you expect?
Yeah, I know. And I would like to welcome our guest, Eric Guilmette.
Guilmette, you got it. See?
Hey, well, yeah, but still, hey, at least it's not speaking Serbian like we've had to do. No, seriously, we've had a lot of Serbian guests.
Yeah,
that has been a big challenge.
If I had to say Serbian last names, I would fail epically. So,
yeah.
Anyways, thank you for having me on.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. Now, I did text you and basically for our little series we're doing on vertical dramas. However, you have done a lot more than just vertical dramas.
Yeah, I've done a couple other things, a couple, I guess, if you will. How deep did you go? No,
Liz went really deep, but I didn't go as deep as Liz did.
Okay, Wiz has the down low. I did a Christmas film last year that was phenomenal called Tales of Christmas. That was on.
I've seen that. Yeah.
That one was cute. That was a dog's cute, like hard to be in a bad mood watching that type of film. I've done a Lifetime film. I've done a few Asylum films, pilots, a billion music videos. Maybe not a billion, maybe only like 500 million. And yeah, just a little bit of everything at this point.
Well, that is cool. Now, what I'm going to do is we've got a lot of people in the chat room that are just saying hi. You can just say hi back. I'm just going to put them up very quickly. Stacy says, cannot wait to see this.
Hi, Stacy.
And Porvi Ghosh, I guess. Hi, Eric. Sam says hi, Eric.
Hello, Sam.
Benita says Eric.
Hi, Bettina.
Hey, Eric.
Hi, Sandra.
As I said, a ton. Yeah. Hi, Eric. This is the only time I'm putting up the hi, Erics. If you do them later, just please put questions in there for Eric.
We can get through the round of highs.
Yes, we're getting through the round of highs very quickly.
Eric and his energy drinks. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Eric, how are you? Well, you can answer that one.
I'm doing great. You know, it's Monday. Usually I don't know what day of the week it is, but the only reason I did know was because we planned this for a Monday, and it feels like a Monday today, and that's why I'm drinking energy drinks.
Well, and I don't blame you. Judith says hi.
Hi, Judith.
Lesmona says hi. Oh, now everybody's getting in here.
Hi, Lesmona. Everyone's doing the hi. I love it.
Hi, Eric. I guess that's deep. I don't know what was deep, but once something you said. Love the Christmas movie, Eric. I totally agree. I love My Wolf. Yeah, you have done some of those movies too.
Mm-hmm. So. You certainly have.
And Stacy says hey. Niram says hi. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Okay. And Eric, you look amazing today. Benita says that. Hi, Eric.
Hi,
the Alpha's here. Brazil loves you. Oh my goodness, we got from everybody. What do you do to have that amazing hair? Yeah, that's a good question.
This is getting out of the shower hair, and rubbing a towel through it, and then just constantly just doing this.
Okay, and so is this going to be a new look for one of the verticals, you think, or?
I don't know. I mean, I try to change my hairstyle up. A lot of times they want it to be like, you know, Lego hair. You know, like when you build
slick
Lego,
back,
it's like slick back, and it's like no hair is out of place. That's how they like it a lot of the time. I prefer it kind of down, a little messy, just because it is more of a like personified look. It's less of a caricature, I guess, if you will. So yeah, but that's what I do to have my amazing hair, I guess.
Yeah, we got a couple more. Team Sebastian, anyone? I have started drinking your type of energy drink. Are you getting any
Endorsements?
visuals from that, or?
Yeah, so this is Alani New. They're amazing, and they make sure that I have energy to go through my day
Well,
constantly.
hey, that's good. That's good. Fandom says hello.
Hi, fandom.
Okay. This is the last question that I'm going to let Liz ask her deep dive questions.
Oh, please.
How much coffee have you had today?
I've had 0 coffee. I've had about a third of the way through this. This has, I think, 200 milligrams of caffeine. So that means I'm probably at like, I don't know, 70 milligrams of caffeine in my veins at the moment.
Cool, I think. Well, hey, that'll get you going. Liz,
Yeah.
are you ready?
Yes, I always was ready.
I
I have a question for you. We all know that you've done a ton of verticals. Do you know how many you've actually done?
I know that I've filmed. I just finished filming my 25th vertical as a lead
I
role.
thought, yeah.
I haven't been able to do a villain or any of the other characters that are a part of the cast yet, but I've done 25 in a leading role.
And on that, doing the leading role, what would you like to focus on? A regular everyday, and I can't believe I'm saying this, a regular everyday billionaire, or sorry, or would you rather be more along the sci-fi stuff of like a werewolf and an alpha leader and things like that? Which one do you have more fun playing?
I guess if I was gonna go through like a year and have to play like one or the other, I would prefer to constantly go this one, that one, this one, that one, because it is
Back and
different.
forth?
If you just do werewolf, 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 it's just too much of the same thing. Obviously, I've done enough. The most that I've done is werewolf because that's just kind of, I don't know how it happened, but it happened. And it's a lot of fun though because you're on set and you have to try and you really have to commit to the character. Like if you don't commit to growling and being, having wolf animal like tendencies, then it's going to look absolutely horrible. And but the billionaire ones are fun because I think that there's a little bit more diversity like in the scripts. Like they're not just all the same. I mean, a lot of them are. There's hidden identity billionaires, things like that. But yeah, I mean, within those 2 tropes, I've done enough of those to this point that I'm like trying to do other things, and I am producing other things as well. So stay tuned for that.
I know that you have done a lot of cover art for a lot of different romance novels and things like that. What on earth got you into that?
So the way that I got into that space, so actually that's what this stack.
I was going to ask you about that stack.
There.
Yeah.
I have another stack, but that's not books that I'm on the cover of. Those are other things. I was in Florida during the pandemic, and a photographer named Chris Correa, he reached out to me and was like, "Hey, have you ever shot for book cover?" And I was like, "What's that?" And he was like, "It's just this romance thing." He's like, "Fabio, and I was like, "Oh, I know who Fabio is." And he's like, "Oh, come, we'll shoot, we'll see how it goes." And we shot, and he was like, "Dude, this is gonna do incredibly well." And so then it did incredibly well, and then I've gone all over the world shooting, signing. One of my favorite photographers, Chris, and then Michelle Lancaster, who lives in Australia. You meet some really amazing people in the space.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky to now I'm closing in on a humongous milestone, which I'm only 2 away from getting to in the romance novel cover world.
And if I remember correctly, I know you've shot well over, I think it's 175. Are you getting close? That's what you mean by your 200, or?
Yeah, I'm getting close to 200. I'm at
198. Yeah.
198 right now. So people always also go, well, I can't find all 198. I've licensed 198. I have like 120 that are out,
Yeah. And I think I've run across probably about 115 of them throughout the thing. So when Michael was saying, "Oh, okay, he wants you to come on." I'm like, "Oh, okay, let me pull out my books." It was really kind of funny
Yeah,
that
it's
that
great.
happened. Like, I know this guy, but I know this guy.
Which book do you have that I'm on the cover of?
I don't have them in front of me at the moment, or I could tell you, but there are so many different ones within different genres.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge, huge book reader. I'll probably read a good 165 book in maybe an hour and a half, a 65-page book in like an hour and a half.
Oh my
I
God.
did, if you know the series of Harry Potters, I did the final book in under 2 days.
Oh my God. I think it took me like 2 months to read Prisoner of Azkaban.
I'm a speed reader, so that was pretty easy. I think
Yeah.
Prisoner of Azkaban I got through in like 5 hours, 6 hours, something
Wow.
like that. Yeah.
That's impressive.
So,
Well, that's great. I'm
but
glad you're a book reader and you know that world, and it makes perfect sense that you know the vertical world as well. There's a lot of overlap in
crossover.
verticals and romance novels, and that's one of the fun things. I have two book signings every year. I'll usually do a few book signings, and I have two that I'm doing later this year. I'm doing one of the events in London and one in Boston,
Oh,
and
really?
both of those I'll be signing with Lexi C. Foss. She writes a lot of the fantasy, paranormal
Mhm.
romance. She writes dark romance as well. But I'm on a lot of her covers, and she's phenomenal as a human being, as a writer. And anyways, at those events, it's great because last year was really the biggest year for verticals so far. And so when I was signing I went to one of the events in Denver and then one in DC, actually, near you, Michael.
Oh, that's not fair. I missed it.
Yeah, and
Oh.
I was there signing, and at the time, verticals had just started to really get a lot of traction, and so people would actually say like, "Hey, I watched your show, whatever," and I was like, "Oh my God, people are watching these!" Like, because we didn't know at
Mhm.
that point in early 2024, and now we're fully aware that people are watching them. So I'm excited for these events because it'll be a really great way to connect with the audiences of romance novels and the audience of vertical viewers.
It's definitely a very good crossover. In fact, we had a guest on a while ago that actually made a good comparison. He said it was kind of like TikTok and Hallmark had a baby, and that is exactly what a lot of these things are. Because you do take a lot of the quote unquote Hallmark elements into it, and then throw in a lot of Lifetime, the drama,
Yeah.
the more central or the more violent side of it too gets thrown into it. So.
Yeah, it is a good blend. I've done a good mix of like rom-com verticals, and those are my ones that I think have actually performed the best. Not across the board, but just I can think of a few of them that have performed really well. And so it's like, yeah, it's that Hallmark feeling where you watch the movie and at the end you have that warm, you feel good about the
Yeah.
story. And I think that's a big part of the vertical drama space.
Going back though, what made you or influenced you into becoming an actor?
So I started, well, so I'm not sure. How far back do you want to go? I
Heck, if you want to take us.
I'll go the fast way. So I went to school for mathematics and economics. I was supposed to, work in finance, work on Wall Street, that path, and then I didn't. I instead decided to move to Australia and pursued a career in fitness and fitness coaching at the time. And then one thing led to another. I've traveled around for a few years, and then I ended up here in Southern California towards like Q3 of 2019. And when I got here, at the time I had been fitness modeling, but I hadn't really done like any modeling, like fashion or anything. And someone reached out and was like, "Hey, I've been following you for a long time. Would you want to model fashion for me?" And I was like, "Fashion? What do you mean?" And then he's like, "Just, give it a shot." Kind of similar to how it worked with Chris. And
Yeah.
I did. And then he was like, "Dude, you should upload these on a few sites." He was like, "Start submitting for castings." He's like, "You'll book something in a couple of weeks." And then I did. And then the next day I booked a shirt campaign. And I was like, and then I saw my paycheck for doing that. And I had the paycheck, but I also loved the feeling of being in front of the camera and being able to like artistically express myself. And so then I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to make a career out of this." And so I did. I made a career as a model. And then very short after getting into modeling, I met my manager, Paul Escol, and he was like, "Dude, you have a personality. You got to take acting classes." And I was like, "All right." And so, again, it was the pandemic. I thought I'd give it a shot.
Did he freeze?
He froze. I thought I did for a minute, but it's him.
Oh, no, I thought it was me too. Bummer.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good question too that he was answering.
It was a great question. Now I'm hoping, I think he's probably going to have to log back
in.
Yeah, let me send him a email very quickly. Sorry, everyone. This happened the other day too, and we never know why this happens. But let me try to get him back in there for us, because that is not fair. Oh, I'm having issues myself. But Liz, can you tell everyone, since we haven't got him, what we've got coming up right after this one at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern time? I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. We have actually, we're interviewing all 3 of contestants from The Voice that are on Michael Bublé's team. And you made me forget what their names are. I have it written down here. I just have their first names.
Well, that's good for now.
Okay. Yeah, you threw me off. I didn't have all my paperwork for them.
Well, no, I can totally get that. Because I'm having issues myself.
But definitely, if you're listening, come and join us for the stuff for The Voice. You'll learn a lot of cool things about some of these people. And who knows, one of them may actually wind up winning The Voice. Like we had last year, we had someone we interviewed who actually won The Voice.
And that was a great little thing. That we kind of knew he was good. We just wasn't sure if he was going to be the winner, but he was. And
oh yes, he was.
It was so cool. It was so cool we had him on. So, but anyway, I've sent Eric a message, so I'm hoping he will get back. Let's. Oops!
Oh, there he comes. There he comes.
Yeah. Okay, there you are.
Yay!
I don't know what happened. It just went away.
Well, obviously, a censor was there, and they didn't like the answer you were giving, and so they just wanted to mess us all up because
I talked about my life, and they're like, "Get out of here!" So
they did not like that. No, I do get monitored sometimes, because where I live, so sometimes some weird things happen. So
yes, I hear DC cracks down on that stuff.
They do actually. So I'm in a no-fly zone except for just certain types of aircraft. So
of course, yes.
Yeah. So much fun.
Sorry for the dramatic exit.
But it made drama, and that's what you're here for, is drama.
Imagine if we were filming vertical, then we're doing what I do for work.
Yeah.
So anyways, getting back to what I was saying, I then started taking acting classes. I actually started to get comfortable and good in front of a camera, to the point that then I felt comfortable to actually go out for roles. I went out for roles, and then I started actually booking. And over the last 2 years, this is me like underplaying it, but I haven't really been off of a film set for the last 2 years straight, which has been phenomenal. I've done.
Good for you.
Thank you. I've done 4 feature films during that time, 2 pilots, a short film, and 25 vertical series, and that's where we are right now.
What would you tell any actors that are coming up in the business in the future? What would you tell them about getting the role? What is the most important thing to securing a role?
It definitely depends, like role to role. I think across the board, I couldn't really give advice, because some roles, like I've taped for some things, I'm like, oh, I hated that, and then they're like, oh, you got the role. I'm like, why? And then I've done other roles where I think if I was going to give any actor advice, it would be to learn your material, like really make sure you understand what you're trying to accomplish in a scene and stuff. And as an actor in an audition, like, don't make the obvious choice, because everyone who got the sides or got, the script, they're going to they're going to all think the first obvious choice that the scene would call for. And, take a gamble. Do things that are a little scary and try to do things that are, still within the landscape of what the material is, but aren't the obvious choice in all of it.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That does make sense. Let me throw in a couple of questions in here. The gamer says, love hearing your poetry on Instagram. I ran across some of your poetry too. Very, very good. Yeah, I'm probably stealing Liz's thunder, but I just thought I needed one of the people out in the chat room to steal her thunder. And now this is well, you probably just answered this, but I want to throw up the question: are you filming a movie soon that isn't a vertical?
I am. I can't say too much about it,
but we love NDA, so don't get in trouble.
But it is I'm shooting a feature film that shoots this way, so you have to watch it. In May and June. And I'm shooting that in Texas. That's what I can say about it.
Oh,
and
okay, that's cool.
It's a rom-dram. That's what I will give to the audience to know. But yes, I'm shooting that, and then I obviously am still shooting verticals before and after, and producing verticals, and all that.
All that fun stuff. And then Alexandra asked, was it hard to play a vampire role knowing you have played werewolf roles for so long? Or you didn't care, you were glad to do something different?
Well, ironically, so that the series that she's referencing is called Love and Blood. And that is one that I produced with Noemi Van Slyke, Dimitri, and Satalia Ruiz. We did that in December, and it's in post-production right now, and it looks phenomenal. I'm very happy about it. But ironically, the series that I produced first in my, the first series I produced was not werewolf. It was different, and it wasn't hard to play the role. It was something that I was so invested in and enthralled in, but I was also more invested in the whole production. And I think that that's the difference. And when you're producing something, is that you want to focus on every aspect of what's going on, especially in pre-production, when you're casting and you're figuring out locations and understanding the script, and post-production where we're editing and we're trying to think of ways to make this as great as it possibly can be. So it wasn't a hard role to play, no, but it was very different, and it's amazing. I'm biased, of course, but I think it's absolutely phenomenal.
Well, that's great that you're producing some of your own stuff. So that is very good. And here's another little, hi, Eric, how do you deal with all the attention? That is quite a lot.
Is it? What's funny is, a lot of the attention comes on here, it comes on your phone.
Mm-hmm. That's probably what they meant. Yeah.
It's very easy to, decide how much or how little you want to engage or let it affect you. Some days I just am not on my phone at all, and some days I am working on my phone all day long, and I can engage more. I do love the in-person call outs and interactions. I think those are really cool. I was this was a couple weeks ago, but it stood out to me. I was at Trader Joe's in Hollywood, and the guy who was stocking fruit, he did a double take, and he was like, and I was like, and we could tell in that moment that he watches my stuff, and he knew who I was, and it was really great to have conversations about that, because as an artist, as an actor especially, you want to know that people A, connect with what you're doing, and B, are watching. And so it was really great to have that interaction and every other in-person interaction I've had.
I have a question for you, going back to the Christmas movie, because you did act with a dog. How difficult do you find it working with pet actors versus human actors?
It's hard to get mad at a pet when you're working with them. Just in general, working with dogs is phenomenal, because you're not going to ever be in a bad mood when you're working with some animal who's just looking up at you and just smiling with its tongue out of its mouth, you
It's
know?
like loving you type of thing all the time.
It's just the best energy to be around. And I mean, that's one thing as well. Think about the vertical dramas. Some of these are very dark and very like, you know, I was actually editing a Instagram reel last night that's like a very, very intense clip. And the purpose of me editing is I wanted to make people realize, like, just because something is a different medium, because it doesn't look traditional, you know, it doesn't look like this, it looks like this. It doesn't change the level of commitment you have to go through as an actor. Like, you still have to fully commit, especially if it's a dark thing and you got to get there fast. Like, you got to go. So, and that stuff will weigh on you. You know, I've left set before and been sad and angry or, you know, just feeling the weight of what happened, versus when you're filming happy things and you're with dogs and you're smiling and they're just wagging their tails. It's like, I love this, you know? So, working with animals is great. I also love because it gives you something to ground you in the space. Like, the dog might pull one way or, you know, start like trying to come up on you, and it actually just pulls you deeper into the moment and in the scene. So any opportunity to get an animal in there, I stand by.
Oh, that's great. Of all the places that you have filmed, I know you've filmed in quite a few different places. What do you think was your favorite country or favorite spot to film in?
Let's see. I mean, I think recency bias is a big part of it. I've filmed in Mexico a lot over the last 6 months, and the team I have down there, you know, it's the same team that did Love and Blood. They're just like family to me, and like, which is half of the fun of filming, is being around people that you love and care about. And this is like the whole crew. This isn't just, you know, on the above the line people. It's like everyone that's involved, from, you know, production designers to sound to wardrobe. Like, everyone is so family that down there for me, that I love being around them and I never want to not be around them. And then also I filmed in Turkey, Istanbul earlier this year with Grace Swanson and Kelsey Maskell, and it was so amazing. It was just such a good team of people. We had the best time, and that's the series that I did that's on Drama Pops, called What Happens in Vegas, and we have another one coming out in like 3 or 4 weeks now. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, let me get to a few more questions, Liz, because there's a lot of them, and I'm
go for it.
I'm probably not going to get through all of them, but I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. Here is one. I think you might have answered this, but I'm not sure. Mercedes wants to know, all the books behind you, are those your cover books?
Yes. Well, this chunk, which goes all the way down to like here, you can't see my hand. That is probably only a third of the ones that are out. So, you know, some authors will send me copies of their books when they come out, and it's amazing. I love that. But then, you know, others, you know, I just don't have all of them. So that's about a third of them. Maybe eventually, eventually one day I'll get a few more.
Okay, and then Bettina asked, what kind of movie would you like to do next if you could choose?
You know, something that's just against my type. Because right now in the vertical space, I do enjoy playing the hero, the protagonist, the love interest, all of those things. But I love something that's a little bit more of a challenge and a little bit more of not what you would expect of me. And that's something that I'm actually, one of the projects I'm producing right now with Mariah Moss. She's also in the space. One of the projects that I'm producing is in line with that. It's not our typical type. It is something that would shock the audience and then make them want to lean in. You know, because that's what we're trying to do. All that we try and do as actors is make you go like this, and make you like try and like feel what's happening. Make you have to lean into what we're saying. So that's what I can say about that. And there's a lot of really cool things coming that I'm either acting in or producing. So stay tuned.
Okay, go ahead, Liz.
Oh, actually, a couple of those were a couple of questions that I had.
I
Uh,
had, well, me too, but
that's why I was like, I was smiling. I was like, good for you. I'm glad you asked that. Um, what is, how do I word this? Okay, in all the different sets you've been on, both the vertical and others, I'm going to include the others. What is one of the things that either you wished you had taken home with you, or you did take home with you?
That I wished I took home with me. Oh, that's a good one. I can think of little things I have taken home. Some of them, I think, I'm like, are they near me right now? Let's see. Let me really think. Oh, this is. I'm going to sound like a broken record, and I'm just promoting my shows, but this
that's what
is
you're here for.
right. This is
Yep.
this is a replica of the necklace that I wore in Love and Blood.
What?
And so this is something that I took home, and I was like, I needed to have this just to, you know, always remember where I'm at. I mean, just let me put into perspective. I, as an actor, have really only been full time in this space for a little over 2 years. I've been acting for 4 years, but I've been full time acting, not doing anything else for 2 years, and I'm at the point where I literally am producing 6 projects. And tell me an actor that has that that's amazing, and that's what I love about this vertical space is it has opened me up to be able to be producing, to be able to be doing so many amazing things that I want to do. And as an actor, you usually don't get that opportunity until years and years and years. And once you've had a huge show, then you could do that. So yeah, this necklace is something my character Noah Archer he wore it, and I was like, I need something to remind myself of that. So I wear it, and it's a reminder of how far I've come and just where I'm at right now.
That is
That's
that
actually a
is
perfect
rather quick.
answer.
I'm going to steal more thunder from Liz.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, I understand the producer duties. I have produced some fan films, so I understand totally. It's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time. However, have you wanted or have you tried to direct anything yet? Or
So
is that something you'd like to do or that scares you to death?
at some point I will. What's funny is I can think of a few directors that have been like, do you want, like, not like in a bad way, but like you're directing, right? Because as an actor, sometimes I'll overstep, not in usually a bad way, but just like I'll see things and I'm like, well, what about that? What about this? And then that's like a director brain. And that's like, as an actor, technically you should be just fully locked in on your actor brain. But it's sometimes you just can't help it. And at some point I will direct. Right now, the producing and acting is more than enough, because also part of producing is the creative aspect where I'm either like developing the story or co-writing the story with my producing partners, and so all of that involved. If I was also to direct, it might be a little bit of an atomic bomb. It might be too much, but at some point, I would love to, and I will.
Yeah, and let's go to this one. What made you want to write poetry? Totally switching gears back again to poetry.
It all comes back to poetry.
Absolutely.
So around 2020, I was seeing someone, and she made me. We just vibed over poetry. We really connected with one of our favorite poets, and then when you read poetry, I think that you can sometimes start to think in poetic ways, and I did. And then I started writing, and little by little I got to the point that I was writing almost every day. And now that's 5 years ago, and now I'm to the point that I have a book ready to be published. I have a second book that I'm working on as well. And poetry is a really great thing because it's also how I come back to myself. It's very easy as an actor to get kind of lost in your roles and be set, and then not have life outside of that set. And poetry is my way to come back to me. So anyways, I started writing it because of a girl, and then it slowly transformed into me started sharing it, and then I started to see the reaction of people sharing it, because sharing something that's so personal to you it's a little scary, it's a little daunting, and yeah, it ended up being great, and now I can't imagine not sharing my poetry.
That is cool. That is cool. Go ahead, Liz.
Okay, my question is, okay, you could choose to act with any actor, living or dead. Who would you choose to act with? And what type of movie would it be? Romance? Would it be drama? Would it be science fiction? What would it be?
Any actor. I think I've been, so I'm not sure if you can see the top here, but that is Darth Vader.
Oh, yes, you are one. Thank you.
I'm one.
Oh,
And
now you're in trouble.
Yes, you're in trouble.
and I've been a Star Wars fan my entire life. I am quite well versed in Star Wars fandom. And anyways, Natalie Portman has probably been my longest crush of my life, you know, playing Padme and everything. I always felt like Anakin's character and stuff. And so I've been a fan of Natalie's forever, and it would be a dream come true to be able to act with Padme.
Natalie. That would be awesome. Absolutely awesome. Besides being a Star Wars fan, okay, what is your favorite Star Wars movie or series?
Do you want my order?
Sure, lay it on us.
Okay, so this should be no surprise based off what I just said, but my favorite is 3. And then, so it goes 3, 6, 4, 5, 1, 2, 7, 9, 8. In that order.
Very good.
Yeah. And then outside of that, I mean, I really do love Rogue One.
You better love Rogue One.
Yeah, I love, the Andor series is phenomenal. Of course, I love, I even like Solo. I know Solo got crapped on, but
What
in
do
the
you think of
reviews,
Ahsoka?
I thought Ahsoka was great. Yeah, I mean, I
Good.
even actually one of my friends. Do I have the sticker? It's up here somewhere. One of my friends was the first AD on Skeleton Crew, and
Ooh.
and he told me all about it. Sorry if I get you in trouble.
Did you like Skeleton Crew?
What's that?
Did you like Skeleton Crew?
Yeah, it's great.
I did too, but others, that are here did not. So.
Oh, hush. I didn't think there was better ones.
But he was telling me about it like as he was filming it, and I was like, this sounds amazing.
Oh, that is cool.
And it's just so cool because there's so many creative ways to build things that go into the Star Wars universe, and I thought that was a great way to do it.
So in other words, the next movie you want to do is set somewhere within the Star Wars universe. That's what you're really saying.
I mean, I would love to. If I could be a stormtrooper and just walk across the screen and get shot, I would be fulfilled. But yeah, I mean, I would like to do probably either in the Star Wars universe or just anything that is with Natalie Portman.
Oh well, hey, that'll work. You can have that go along. Yeah, remind me after we go off air. I have something to ask. I do not want to ask it while we were on air, just because I don't want to put you on the spot. So stay with us after we go off, and I'll ask you the question. But
this is everyone, just so you're watching and everyone that knows, or everyone that's watching knows this, all the good questions happen off the air.
Absolutely,
Yes,
they do. They actually do. Fans, we have quit. I used to have guests come earlier than I do now, and we would say all these things, and then when we'd get on air, we said, now wait a minute, did we talk about that off air, or haven't we talked about it yet? And we couldn't remember sometimes. So we quit doing a lot of talking beforehand, but that's just production stuff. So behind the scenes, little tidbits of information.
The BTS.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But there were some other questions about the poetry stuff, and let me see if I can grab them. Who is your favorite poet? Alyssa asks.
Alyssa, my favorite poet is Atticus, and Probably always will be.
And who will your book of poetry be on Amazon? And if so, when will it come out?
So when it will come out and where is to be determined. I can guarantee that it will be on Amazon, but it's just we're still a few steps away from being able to answer those questions.
Okay. Well, at least they got it out there. So
Yeah.
And will you be expecting autographs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The poetry writer world is what, all too well. I know what the romance novel writer world looks like, but I would love that. I'm sure that I'll do some sort of a press book tour as well. Be able to talk at different places. I'm already talking to someone who is connected to bookshops in like the northern part of the U.S. and about doing whatever you call that, an event where people can come and do a book signing.
Press junket, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever head up here in Northern California, I'll definitely pop in and get the autograph. Oh, did he freeze?
Did we lose him again?
I think we may have.
Oh my goodness, that is so. Are
there
you back? Oh,
there he
good.
is.
I'm back. What'd you ask me?
Well, we saw you froze, so then we didn't ask you anything. But what I was going to do this. When you were frozen, and this is a question for Liz and I. And it says, where can we spy for those questions? The answer is they are totally out in the air because they were not recorded, so they're gone.
Yeah.
Unless you have a time machine, and that's a whole other science fiction genre that we haven't even talked about yet. So
little blue box, maybe.
Yeah, little blue box, things like that. It's whatever happens. So
one of these devices is connected to the NSA, so they have it. But
yes, which is right down the street from me, so we're not allowed to talk about that, or we will get cut off. Let's see. Judith says, think of coming to New York City for a signing event.
It's funny. I was going to do 3 book signings this year, but I was only scheduled for 2. So the closest I'll get to New York this year, as far as I know, I guess it's only March, is Boston. Yeah.
It's Boston. And we are in March, so it's soon then for Boston.
Yeah, halfway through March.
Or you're talking about next March.
No, this March. Yeah, I won't release my 2026 schedule until we're nearing the end of 2025. I haven't even announced these, but people know at least where I'm going to be.
Oh, okay. So, and then one says, come to Scotland. So,
I've been to Scotland. I've been to Edinburgh.
Ooh.
But yeah, I'll come back.
Okay, come to Ohio. In Ohio, yeah, I'm just. And then she says, Buno. Book read. Oh, they want you to read a book. Okay.
I've actually done that on my. Do you know what Cameo is?
Yes.
Yeah. So on Cameo, I've read other people's work because they've asked me to, which is really cool. But then also I'll read. A lot of people request me to read my own poems to them, and so that's actually one thing I've really enjoyed. I full on bought a microphone for that. That was so that I can literally do that. Wow. I should probably use that for this now that I think about it. But anyways, something I enjoy is reading poems, because then you get to hearing the author of a poem say it is so different than how you would read it, because you might read it very fast, you might read it slow, you might read it with a different intention. Anyways, I love doing that.
Yeah, Mercedes asked, what would be your ideal vertical story? Then I'll add, if it's different, what you'd like to act in, what you'd like to produce, or maybe your first directorial debut.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. My ideal vertical story is, in terms of filming, is definitely probably a rom-com. Because again, it is so happy. I thought about that when I was filming in Turkey with Grace and Kelsey. It was just good energy, because nothing was too daunting in what we were doing. We weren't going through these traumatic experiences, which is I'm not a full-on vertical viewer. Like, of course I watch verticals to see what other actors are doing, and of course I watch the ones that I'm in just to see what I can improve on. But a vertical viewer, I think that they're watching to escape. Where there's a level of escapism that you want in a vertical, and so, I think that when you're watching something that's just happy, like it's enjoyable. Of course, there is a nice balance of doing some happy with some crazy, which leads me to my next point. Things I want to act in are a little crazier. I like being able to fully sink my teeth into a character that is not like me. Obviously, I put my little bits of Eric in there, but I like having something that is far enough outside of me that it doesn't feel like I'm using any of my own life to influence the character. And then direct, I think I would like to direct something that's, I would love to do a sports film. I played hockey, football, and baseball. My favorite movie is Miracle, which is about the 1980s.
One of mine too, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. And anyways, directing something that has to do with like a sports hero story type of thing, that would be great, especially a sport that I know inside and out, like hockey or football or baseball.
Well, that's good. I had, oh, now I've totally lost what it was, but I'm not going to post them, but a lot of people are saying, come see me, come to this country. But I want to get to some people that maybe haven't asked a question, because we're going to be probably going off within 5 or 10 minutes. So I want to make sure I get, and I think I know this answer, but but they have not asked a question yet. So I will go. Have you read all those books behind you? Adhira asked.
You were on earlier, but it took me 2 months to read Prisoner of Azkaban. So I've read five of my
books.
covers.
You're on the covers, okay?
Right, and most of those are Lexi's books, Lexi C. Foss, because I signed for her, and I want to be able to understand what the fans that are coming to the booths for signings and photos and stuff. I want to understand like what they're relating to. And so, yeah, but I have not been able to read all of those. That would take me a very, very long time. I might need to take a few weeks off of acting to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, here's a question before Liz. I mean, I think I know the answer, but he hasn't put. Edwards asked, have you met all the actors and actresses from ReelShort?
From ReelShort? No. I've only done one ReelShort. Now, luckily, it was very popular. It's You Belong With Me, and it's actually nominated for. There's a vertical award season going on right now, and
yes.
You Belong With Me. I got nominated for I think 6 different categories with that show. That one, me and Emma Huller, we starred in that. So I played Henry Lockwood. She played Christine Wilson. And anyways, it's done really well. And so it's nominated for Vertical of the Year. I'm nominated for Best Actor in a Drama with it. I have a one-liner and a few other things from that show. But anyways, that show has been great. But ReelShort in general, I know a good amount of the actors, but more so in the vertical space, I know a lot of the actors. The other night we had a little bit of a vertical guys last minute drinking meetup at a Dave & Buster's in Hollywood, and it's like it is such a small community. I mean, there are a lot of actors acting, but a lot of the top all know either each other or know of each other.
Right. Yeah, we've had some actors from Australia on that do verticals in Australia and China, and we asked some of them the same questions, and they said we really don't know the U.S. actors unless they've traveled to China or Australia. So, I mean, I don't think people understand that sometimes it's other production companies that make these, and then they sell them to ReelShort, Drama Box, all the other things. Some do their own, but then others take from other places. So they might not understand that. So
yeah, for sure.
But it's just the way that, and I hope I did get that right. But that's what I have noticed from the guests we've had, and just looking at stuff. So
I mean, they're filming in every country. You know,
they are.
Every country is producing these now, and it's impossible to keep up with all of it. And like I've been asked to go to China, but it just hasn't worked out because of schedule or what have you. But yeah, I know a lot of actors that are filming in China right now, and you know, or in Turkey or Lithuania or Mexico or Canada. It's like they're literally everywhere.
It's like Mexico especially has started its own vertical telenovelas.
Yeah,
I think that's absolutely amazing, and I've gotten hooked up into a couple of them, and I really like them. I'm like, finally, they're doing something in the vertical space instead of putting it fully out on air with all of the production that they have to do for the Spanish-speaking community. And so it's like, this is really cool that it's now just in the verticals as well.
For sure.
Yeah, it's real. It's just all over the place. It's all over the place. Just so some people, they won't be able to read it, which is good. This is the list. So you can't read it, but the whole page, double column of people I'm asking to be on our show.
And you got me.
And that's Eric right there. Whoops. That's it. This is Eric where my finger is.
And at the bottom, you'll find Eric's name.
No, you're 1, 2. You're number 5.
I'm number 5.
You were number 5 on my list. Yes.
Great.
Because I did the first 8, and you responded very quickly, and
yeah, you caught me on the day that I was working on my phone. So, like I said, there's the days that I am super available and super communicative because I'm on my phone, and then there's the days that I am so busy, and you would have no idea of finding a way to get a hold of me.
Yeah, and I had to get Liz very quick. I said, Liz, we got something Monday.
But that wasn't quite that barky.
Well,
I just figured out how to open the comments while we were.
You can go ahead and read some of the ones. You can see there was a lot of them that I have not gotten to.
Yeah, sorry guys, I haven't seen any of the comments as we're going, except for the ones that you bring up. Love, how many people are on this right now?
They're over 70, to be perfectly honest.
Amazing. I see people want me to do one with Noah. We would love to do that. I would love to work with Nicole Maddox. Yes, I'll work with Mariah and with Kira again. Bet that was a question. Yeah, there's anyways, I just learned the comment section.
Well, I'm glad you did, because as I said, you know, I've had this before. When we have this many comments, I can't get to them all. We'll be here all day.
Trust me.
I'll be here all day. So I try to get ones that I have not grabbed a question from. But so we got about 5 more minutes. Eric, is there anything that you wanted to tell us about, break a story about, or Liz, it's our leader.
Oh no, ignore him.
I'm ignore him. Okay. He's probably saying, you didn't say that I was gave you a like, which is true, and I am going to go do that right now, because I think I'd like to thank Hope for giving us a like on Facebook, and Robert Burns that gave us a like on Facebook. Thank you. We do not see the likes that you give us on our other medium, but please do give us a like. And if you would even like better, please follow, subscribe, or like our social media so you can see. Hopefully we can get Eric back at some point when he's not doing too much stuff, and then you can ask him some more questions now, since you understand what this format is for the guests, and make your questions concise and just give questions to Eric, because when I have to go through a lot of the questions you go between each other, it gets very confusing for me, and I'm so sorry. I cannot multitask like I used to when I was Eric's age. I'm sorry, but
no, you're doing great. Both of you guys came well prepared, and I appreciate it. I guess I don't really know if I have a story to break. I mean, I have, most of the people know what's coming that are on this right now. But do you guys have any? I mean, any last questions for me? Anything that either came to your mind during the chat, or that you came in wanting to ask beforehand?
Do you have one, Liz?
No, I think I've actually asked most of mine.
Okay, well, so have I. So, because I accept the question I'm going to ask you when we're off air. Probably everybody wants to know. I'm not going to tell you. If my question happens, Eric will probably post it and then you'll know. But if it doesn't happen, I don't want to say something and then it does not happen. So that's why I've learned my lesson from previous times. So, but anyway, so we'll probably wind up. Oh, we just got 17 more questions put in.
Are you serious?
I am serious. A lot. Okay. There were a lot of thank yous, so I'm just going to go ahead and post them quickly. Thank you, love you, love watching your movies or series. Thanks, Eric. You're blushing, Eric. They said. I just think you were laughing. I think that's what it was. But
it could have been a blush or a laugh. It could be a mix of two.
Or it could be you're craving some blood because of the vampire in you. And
yes, I wear the necklace proud, and
exactly. And then Sue says, "You were very special, Eric. You are." And I'll just say, and Liz can go say this too, but Eric, I would like to thank you immensely for being on our show. I mean, you are a joy to have on, and I can see why you have let me say this in a nice way, a rabid fan base. You do.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so thankful for them. I mean, they really, actually one thing I'll say, you asked me for one thing I wanted to say, like the fans make this so much fun because it really does make it worth it for us to go through what we go through as actors and producers to make something that people vibe with and that people like feel connected to, and they look out for us too. I have a fake account made of me every single day, no matter if it's a fake me or a fake manager or a fake agent, and they report them and they screw with them, and it's like the fans really do their work, and they do it just out of support and love for us. So I'll speak for all the actors in the vertical space and say thank you for all your love for us, really.
I have one request, and it has not come from a fan that's on here, but I'm going to say it for her. Can you wish this young lady happy birthday, since today is her birthday?
Hi, Jennifer.
Yeah.
I hope that you have an amazing birthday and that the next year of your life is the best year ever.
Thank you for that. I'm sure she'll get a thrill. So.
Yep, she will. So we're going to wrap up now. So any questions that you throw up, we won't be able to put them on air. Thank you, everyone. Next time. But we thank you for posting your questions. Sorry I could not get to all of them, but I got to, I would say, probably 40% of them. And now even more are coming through. But that's just the beast. So
the nature of the game.
Yeah, pretty much. So on behalf of NDB Media, Talented Universe, and all of our other affiliate productions that are on the network, which has a whole bunch of stuff, Talented Universe is just one part of it. So everyone, take care, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.